I'm a person who believes in taking care of the people that took care of me. So I'll tell you what, I come up with most of my movies with my wife, like in front of her. We're normally like on the road driving. We'll go visit her family in Louisiana. Every time we come back, I'm always motivated to like start doing something. And I came up with 4 movies on the way back, and Seeds was one of them.
You came up with 4 movies in 11
4 movies, and I was just telling them to her back to back to back to back. The moment right before we hit 1 million views on the Seeds, I prayed, I asked God to remove the people from my life that are not adding value. And when I tell you people start dropping like flies, I don't understand. There is a small group of people that see whatever it is that I'm doing as me showing off or flexing on people, and basically admitted they couldn't celebrate me because they felt that I was being arrogant every time I talk about it. And I actually started crying. Like, I never understand why people would gather the fact that I'm doing this to show off. It does me no good to flex on my own people at that.
Fully Connected. Yeah. Welcome back to the Fully Connected podcast, your go-to destination for inspirational conversations to help you become your greatest version. I am your host, Chris Jones, licensed therapist and owner of Fully Connected Counseling. Today we got a very special guest, right? Somebody who loves to be able to tell stories through art. He is very notable in the city here in Wichita for his filmmaking and his media contributions to the city, all right? He is the founder and the owner of Vibe Nation and Drew Vision Cinema. He recently released his first film, Seeds, and it has over 2 million views on YouTube. It's available on Amazon Prime, and he's directing a new movie called Big Dog, all right? He's a cinematographer, director, actor, entrepreneur, husband, and soon to be father. Without further ado, we have Troy Andrews with us here on the podcast, man. What's going on, bro?
Life is beautiful.
Life is beautiful, man.
Yes.
Life is beautiful. So I want to kind of start off where we left off when we spoke via Facebook Messenger. And you said there's about 5 times making the movie Seeds that you had thoughts about quitting. And to remind myself, I believe you said there was 4 pregnancies for some of the actors, some actors who decided to walk off, who definitely regret it probably now, and different issues with location. So if you could just speak on that and how you were able to get through all those challenges, man, making the movie.
Let me tell you, this was probably the most challenging project that I've ever got to take on.
Yeah.
Having 4 pregnancies, the biggest one was the lead actress, Alex, trying to hide her pregnancy while we were filming.
Yeah, I remember,
And she just, and we had a talk, and, that's my sis, so
absolutely.
I'm like, Alex, we gonna have to, you're gonna have to hold blankets, you're gonna have to hold purses or something, we'll dress you in some bigger, things, looser things.
For sure.
And she was all for it. But then my assistant director's wife, that they were pregnant, and then my DP, Angelo, his wife, they were pregnant.
Wow.
And my boom operator, he and his wife, they got pregnant. So at some point they each had to stop participating in the film. So, that for me was a little overwhelming at that time. And there's nothing you can do about that. Absolutely. Like, hey, you guys are, procreating and to God be the glory. And then, as far as the locations falling through, that was probably the first one. We had like this pub or this bar, lounge, and just going kind of just on the phone with him for a few weeks, and just could not get anything locked in. And that was the most frustrating thing, because we were locked in until the night before we were supposed to be there the next morning.
Right.
And after a while, they stopped answering the phone. I had 50 people coming to be a part of that scene.
Oh, wow.
And that was really tough.
Which scene was that?
That was everything bar related.
Sidelines?
Everything. It was Sidelines and it was Douglas Social.
Yeah.
Everything involved in that. We were just going to do it all in this one location.
Wow.
And I really don't want to do business with them because of like how much that really affected the production. But, I'm a man of grace, so hopefully we could do something because it's such a dope location, But
Douglas Social, yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's super dope.
The Douglas Social turned out perfect for us.
Man, it really was. It was
that turned out perfect.
Definitely. It's so cool seeing like scenes in a movie that Yes. Like even like with Big Dog, I'm like, I used to eat my lunch under that bridge. Like at my job when I worked at ComCare downtown, I'm like, I know every part about where they were at.
Yeah.
Like it's just super dope, man.
Yes.
But I wanted to kind of bring it all the way back, man, because a lot of people may not know that before you wanted to be a filmmaker, you wanted to be a judge.
Yes.
You were in law in Emporia State, right?
Emporia State, WSU.
Yeah,
I was
man.
a pre-law student.
You'd be like Judge Mathis.
Judge Mathis. Oh, man.
Judge Andrews.
So you're a crackhead, ain't you? Yeah, I know a crackhead when I see one. Yep.
Definitely, man. So how did you, but even before that, though, you always were, I didn't know you were an actor.
Yes.
Like you were always acting, like,
Absolutely.
back in California, right?
Absolutely. So I started when I was 9 years old professionally.
Yeah.
I was on a show called Martial Law with Arsenio Hall and Samo.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was fun, man. I was basically an extra, but I was a kid playing basketball for an elite team. And that right there sparked this whole thing. I got an agent after that. I had an audition with all that. Didn't get to pursue that because my mother's like, there's 3 other kids in the house and she was very involved with taking care of the house.
Yeah, we're talking about all that, like Kenan and Kel.
All that, Kenan and Kel.
Really? You had an audition with all that?
Amanda Bynes. Yeah, all that was set up. And,
That's dope,
for the sake of, taking care of my mother being available to take care of all the other kids. Plus, she has 21 godchildren. She has a lot of nieces and nephews. And she was also running a daycare type situation at the house. So that would have taken her away from where God really called her to be.
Absolutely.
To, do this for me. And I was understanding because I was just like, okay, well, I'll get to it at some point, So just went full-fledged at that point, sports.
Okay, so it was actor.
Yeah.
And then football.
But basketball, actually.
Basketball.
I was a basketball player. I didn't start playing football until I was in 8th grade. Crazy thing is, I'm a better basketball player than I am football.
Okay.
But I ended up getting Division I offers when I was going to JUCO.
For football. At Emporia, right?
No, I was at Coffeyville Community College.
Gotcha.
So, and I was a red shirt, and I just started getting letters because my parents were actually still sending out my highlight video from high school out, and then we just started getting these schools coming to practice, looking at everyone. And K-State offered me, and that was one of the most wild things that I've ever dealt with right there.
And so too, like a lot of people don't know, you used to do highlight videos for like kids like in high school who weren't getting like looks. Like that's super dope, man. Yeah, do you still do that? Or like I know you probably have so much you're doing now. Like
when I can get the opportunity to do it, I will, because that's philanthropy for me. Yeah. Because when I was in high school, we didn't have heavy recruiting here in Wichita. So I made my own highlight video and I used that and I got recruited. So
I bet it looked crispy.
I wish. I had to use their cameras. So I just had to edit whatever was going on. And, I was so happy I made a highlight video from 2 years worth of me playing football at Heights. So my junior and senior year, it was like a 25-minute highlight video. And I'm just like, wow, I don't care. This is what I want.
Not to cut you off, were you 2007?
2007.
Yep, with Daley Thomas.
Daley Gunner. And who else played with us that year?
I can't remember either.
Goodness.
I was a freshman when you guys were out there.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I graduated 2010 at Heights.
2010.
Yes, sir. 2010.
Man.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So I remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were there. We were Aaron Hobson.
Man, rest in peace, right?
Yeah. That was my bro, man. And We also had, now that's another thing too. Aaron's, I dedicated the seeds to Aaron Hobson. You'll see it in the credits to Aaron A-Hob Hobson. He was one of my biggest supporters when it came to anything creative, and the stuff that he got to do, him doing the art on the clothes or the shoes or anything like that. That man was just mad creative. So very inspirational. I actually bought a car. He used to drive this like a 06 Monte Carlo or 05 Monte Carlo. Just put some 24s on it, threw some subs in the back. It was clean. I actually bought like that same car.
You bought that same car to be able to remember. Wasn't that the car where he died in as well?
It was. So that was kind of his memorial for me, and I drove it as long as I could because that car just is tough to keep up with.
I didn't know of him too much, but I remember hearing the stories and whatnot. I was like, man, like from what I remember from the short interactions I had, I was like, he seemed like a solid guy, man.
Yeah, he was on the way. Like he was a person that you knew eventually something great was going to happen with him, or I guess you could say, people would say, oh, if someone was going to make it, it was going to be A-Hob,
Absolutely.
And I mean, he did music. He was a rapper.
Yep.
He could dance. He was always the life of the party. He always dressed well.
Almost like a Tupac.
Almost like a Tupac.
You do a little bit there. He would have been starring in the movies.
Come on. Easy. First person I would have called, right? So,
right.
But yeah, just it was the unfortunate situation. And that is something that it took me about 10 years to actually open up about, because I couldn't, I never cried about it. I never really got to mourn about it. I've just been in awe for 10 years.
Yeah, because you guys are pretty much like best friends.
Oh yeah. Me, him, Bailey, Scott, Daly Gunter, Brantrell Graham, Dennis Henry, Kedrick Fontelroy. Like we had our own little situation.
Latirius is 05, right?
06.
06.
Yeah, that's my business partner.
Definitely, man. Shouts out to Latirius, man.
Yes.
I remember, on that note, with A-Hob and everything like that, it's just sad. I was going to ask you, was that when you became like more, spiritual, more faithful, and into more of like believing, like after he passed? Because I know, spirituality is big for you.
Yes. No, I've been like this my whole life.
Yeah.
My entire life. My father's a minister. My mother was always the youth coordinator at.
Dad's a minister.
Yeah. Kevin Andrews, Minister Kevin Andrews.
What?
Yeah. He's actually the vice president of the Ministerial League in Wichita, Kansas. What? So yeah. But yeah, I've been like this my whole life. The great thing about what my mother really instilled in us, when it comes to our faith in Christ, is knowing why we serve him. It wasn't just wake up, put on your clothes, and we're going to church today. This is why we serve Christ, and this is why they sing. This is why that lady screamed in the middle of service, and so it's been big. I've always been if I'm being honest, I've always been the Christian friend.
Okay.
Yeah,
so Deontay is like my Christian friend.
Yeah. You know what? You and Deontay are so much alike. I promise.
Right, we just say we're related, but we're really not. If I
close my eyes, I hear him talking to me. That's what's crazy.
It's crazy because my dad, he was a principal, and I know Deontay through my dad. That's crazy because he was Deontay back in the day. He would act up. Elementary school. So my dad would have to like talk to him and whatnot. But it's crazy like how. We're a lot of similarities as well, man. So it's super dope though, like what you're doing with the movies. So if you could kind of let people know, because like we talked about earlier, I was confused because it was like Vibe Wichita, which was pretty much like a media house of like podcasts, like everybody had their own thing from like the realism from Alex's show, from like you had something you were doing with Fleming in the car.
Oh yeah.
It was just like it was like as Strap, I think he said it was like Disney. You were like Wichita's little like Disney, if you will.
I love that.
And Strap was the first person I interviewed on my show, but like help us to understand, because in the back of the barbershop, right? I forget which one it was, to the house, then to another place, and then and then now Vibe Nation. So like they're all different, and you're still doing Vibe Wichita, is that right?
Yes. So, all right. So I researched podcasts like for like a year, 2015, just research podcast, because my friend would always talk to me about, my friend Kedrick always talked to me about, yo, we need to just sit down, get some microphones, and maybe get a camera, and let's just talk about the stuff we always talk about. And I took that serious because he talked about that at that time for like 4 years. Right. I'm like, all right, let me figure this out. And I'm very meticulous about this type of stuff.
For sure.
So researched it, started Vibe Wichita in 2015 at Mark Paris' shop. They were so gracious to let me just start in there and do whatever I wanted to do. And Strap was one of the OG panelists, LT's always been there with me, Letarius. And, we had a good run there. And then I brought it over to my house once I ended up getting like some solid equipment.
Right.
That became more of a pop culture show.
Right. Because you had like a couch and all that.
Yeah. So I'm like, we started at a table, and then we moved it to a couch, and then went from pop culture, and then I moved it over to a space, studio space. Then I was like, you know what? We need a show for women. I think young women would enjoy having a show. So we started Vibe with Her. And Vibe with Her, that became our most popular show.
That's dope.
And then from there, I kept getting artists talking to me, hey, we need something for us. Shout out to Southside Zay, because he hit me up. We weren't even friends yet. So he hit me up. That's my guy. And he was like, bro, like, I just want to like showcase my freestyle. So then I had Artist Vibes. So it was a Vlad style interview, just their face, and then they would perform afterwards. So
right, I remember that over the mic.
Yeah,
kind of like Colors or something.
Yeah, exactly. Then we ended up getting a bigger space. There we birthed, it turned into a network.
Man, it really was.
Yes. So then we were already working with shout out to Ja 4 Times and Rello. They had their podcast going at that time, and then Rello had his own, and Rello approached me and was like, hey man, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I talked to him about it. I was like, man, we'd love to have your interviews with just artists, because we're going to kind of slide away from artist vibes and let you have that platform.
Right. And he interviewed Gorilla Zoe. I didn't even realize that.
That was big.
I didn't realize that, because Gorilla Zoe reposted ours when Angelo was talking about it. So I was like, that's dope.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize he was on Rillo's.
Yeah. Rello really helped grow a whole nother, I would say he grew 2 limbs for Vibe Wichita, because he brought a level of entertainment as well as just interviewing the artists. So that grew. And then we had Ride and Vibe, where I got to just kind of hang out with people in my car and just talk, and we drive around the city. And then we had Ine Eats.
That's what I'm losing count. So is that like about, was that 6?
Yeah, I think that was 6.
Man, that's dope.
6 shows at that. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the interview Rel did with Big Sam. That was really dope.
Yeah.
It was really dope. And then he did one with XV, man. So did you ever kind of feel like, during that time, like, man, they're kind of getting sidetracked to like my vision though? You know what I mean? Like as far as like stories and movies, because I feel like that was your passion from the beginning, acting, because even when I would DJ, a while back, I'm like, man, I want to play my music. I want to make my music. So it's just kind of like, I want to go back to making beats. So like for you, like I'm just imagining like this dope, you're doing all this stuff, but it's still like you got a story to tell.
Absolutely. So, I'll tell you what, at that time, this is why I give so much love to Rello. Rello was holding down Vibe Wichita virtually by himself with his show, while LT and I were trying to figure out how to like work on documentaries. So at one point in time we were kind of into documentaries and doing short stories and highlights and stuff like that. And we just could not get our foot off the ground with some of the stuff we wanted to do. LT ended up starting a project that he's still working on. I can't really speak about right now. Okay. But he's been working on it since 2019.
And a lot of people don't know his dad is the one from, man, I can't remember. It's like a
2 Live Crew.
Yes.
Fresh Kid Ice.
It's crazy.
They call him, Fresh Kid Ice. Dope. That's his name. Yeah. LT and Bailey Scott. Those were the first 2 people I met when I transferred to Heights my junior year. Wow. I was working out with LT, and then, I think all 3 of us were working out together. Okay. And, we didn't go our separate ways, but we just kind of did our own thing, but we came back as we got older. and those are my best friends.
Man, that's super dope.
Those are my best friends.
Did you meet your wife Sasha through them, or like?
I met her at WSU.
Okay, well, for your undergrad.
Yeah, absolutely.
For filming or
no? She. This is gonna be funny. She pinched my butt. That's how we. And I'm like, what's going on? I happen to be filming a probate, and she pinched my butt, and I turned around, and I didn't see who it was, and she looked at me right in my face, smiling, and then I happened to run into her while she was waitressing, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm in hair school," and
she was trying to get your attention.
She was trying, bro. She gave me her business card and was like, "Yeah, you should come and let me wash your hair, let me edge you up or whatever." And I was like, "Yo, she kind of fine. I might let her give me a hair wash."
And she still do your hair now?
She doesn't. She's getting back to it. She ended up getting, just having like joint situations, so she stepped away from it.
Yeah.
But she's getting all that back, like her range of motion.
That's so important, like doing hair, any physical work, like because you're making a living with your hands. Literally. I mean, so many livings, even like what you're doing. Like we don't realize. Like I had a client once, like. He was like he had a lot of bad nerve pain. Like you don't really realize until like you can't move your hands, like how much you need that, man. Yeah. Like we just take it
we
for
do.
granted just
we
to
do.
open it up and close it, no pain at all.
And I know she did too, because she was a natural hair care stylist. So she would doing a lot of braiding.
Yeah, twisting and all that.
Doing all of that. I had fresh braids every week. Hair wash. Like she took care of me.
He's looking like Dre.
Oh my goodness. Just always clean. You know what I'm saying? But she's finally getting that range of motion back, which is good. But she's getting back to it, man. But yeah, I know what you had mentioned there, the difference between Vibe Wichita and Vibe Nation there. Vibe Wichita, we still have like an active business and show. It's more so like, when I get around to it, I'll do something for it. Mm-hmm. But Vibe Nation, we wanted to emulate the same thing, the same like structure, but do it more for a national.
I like that. So now it's not so local. You know what I mean? Because you can expand. It's like this is a whole nation. It's now Vibe in the nation. Exactly. That's super dope. So I definitely want to get into the movies, but then again, the personal life, and we'll kind of pivot from there. Okay. But like with the Seeds movie, man, it's just super dope. And then, you're acting in the movie too, like as, what's his name? Kevin. And you're a detective, I believe, right?
So I should have made this clear. Kevin is actually a private investigator. So that's why he's always wearing regular clothes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Never has a badge. There was actually a scene, that scene in the movie when he's looking at the crime board, and then he figures it out. There was a shot that was wide, and he picks up his gun in a holster, and he picks up his keys and his shades or whatever. I took that out because I thought people would think that he was a detective, and he's not. But everyone thinks he's a detective. Yeah,
but he's a private investigator.
He's a private investigator.
Okay, I was curious about that too, man.
So I did. That was actually a default of one of the actors having to leave. They had to go back to the state that they actually lived in. Okay, and this was all just kind of adjacent to us losing those locations. And while they were here, we weren't able to get anything filmed, so they're like, "Hey man, my lease, I got to get back and I got to get moving." And it's like, all right. So I basically knew the lines already because I wrote it.
That's dope, man. So I have like questions. I know some like directors, like especially like, I know you're probably a fan of Jordan Peele, definitely. Like, cause I see like, Tyler Perry, Jordan Peele had a baby, boom. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I see. And I know, I'm just going to assume that those are definitely inspirations, bro.
For sure.
I had the honor to be able to, we couldn't go to the Tyler Perry studios, but we were outside of it when I went to Atlanta. But like, it's private now. But I believe there was one point where it could be public, but zone 3 or I think it's zone 3, kind of not too far where they shot ATL. And it's super dope because it's like, it's right by Clark, Atlanta, you know what I mean? It's Spelman, and it's not too far away from the hood. So it's just like, growing up there, you could just really be like, wow, like Tyler Perry Studios right here on I think it used to be like a plantation or something too.
It was a colonial army base, and he purchased it. Oh man, that was a big deal when he purchased it. And he ended up keeping those homes exactly the way that they were so that he could house people. He could film there. He wanted the structure to be the same. So he made sure they got renovated and things like that. Yeah, I keep up with Tyler. So
Yeah. I can assume, man, because because you have people that are working for you because you're big on having a team.
Yes.
You know, why is that important to have a team?
I follow the lead of Steve Jobs. He has a quote that says, "I don't hire smart people to tell them what to do. I hire smart people to tell me what to do." And look, we got Apple, we got iPhones, we got iPads, we got the iMacs, we got some Mac Studios, just Apple Care. We got all this stuff. That's great, but it took a team to do that. Absolutely. And for me, if I don't have to stand behind the camera, because I can, obviously. If I don't have to stand behind the camera, I don't want to stand behind the camera. If I don't have to edit, I don't want to edit. If I don't have to hold the boom mic, I get to actually see the vision and make sure that vision comes to life. And I get to teach along the way as well, because this is how I want it. This is how I want it lit. This is how I want the decor behind. This is how I want it to sound. This is what I want them to wear. And those are all different people. If I were to do that by myself, I would never get anything done. I just, it's a lot. For me, I am. And I would literally be trying to iron everyone's clothes. I would make sure that this light, I had to touch this light, make sure, okay, you didn't pull focus the way I needed you to pull focus. Watch out, I'll just do it myself. Yeah. And I don't want to do that, man.
Yeah. And I to be honest, I feel like I'm in that state now. Like, just like with the podcast and my practice, like I eventually want to hire more people, but I need to delegate, so it's like, how would you tell somebody to be able to let go of some of that creative control? Because I'm always like, man, I want to be able to edit this and I want to have that creative control. But like, it seems like what you're trying to do is let go of all that and just kind of be like a supervisor or Mr. Chocolate, like on Atlanta.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Donald Glover. So
we're going to talk a little bit about that later though, too, because I wanted to get you.
Oh, I'm inspired by him too.
Yeah.
So letting things go as a creator or as a director or a filmmaker, it is probably the toughest thing because it's your baby. Like nobody sees it the way you see it. But letting it go makes it sweeter because celebrating it isn't something that you want to do by yourself. Trust me. You don't want to win and it's just Troy. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't wait to let me just bring all these people in here and they're not going to be able to share that excitement.
You're right about that.
Yeah. It's like, oh, good job, man. Like you did that. That's cool. Well, no, you were here when this happened. You were in this room when we wrote it. You were in this room when we decided what shots we were going to get. You came to the auditions and got this role. So yes, let's celebrate all this together. Yeah. Man. I can't wait to put out the behind the scenes, or hopefully it's out now, but the behind the scenes for The Seeds is a whole nother movie by itself.
Are you serious?
Yeah. LT did all he filmed everything behind the scenes.
Shout out to LT for that. I didn't know you guys had. Oh, that's gonna be fire.
Dude, that's a whole nother deal.
That would be just as enjoyable because you get to see all the funny moments and
you get to see the auditions. You get to see man, there's so many things. We got a whole thing of bloopers.
Yeah, because Janee told me too about she showed up like last minute.
Oh gosh. Yeah, you know what? Janee actually missed the auditions. I felt nothing for the people who missed because I'm like, man, I don't know how much I can promote this entire week for everybody to come out on Saturday for this, that, and the third. And she messaged me on Sunday and said, hey, is it okay if I come and audition? I really wanted to blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't let her because I would have to let all the other 12 people who messaged me that missed it come and audition. The thing was, she was perfect for the role. And the people that we auditioned, we could not decide. I was just like, oh gosh, man. I just see Desi. I see Desi for this. I'm like, you know what? Let me hit her up. Let me see if she came after a workout, sweating.
Yep, she said that
in her tank top. Y'all gonna see it on you'll see it on the behind the scenes. But she came just trying to get herself together, and she did it. And the moment she walked out, I looked at Paris Jane. I was like, "What you think?" She was like, "Oh yeah, she's Desi. She's Desi." So. And I could be a little bit of a stickler for like that type of structure
for sure.
Because I need people to respect what it is that I'm doing. And if I move in a way where I'm just letting everybody in, I let everybody just come and do this, then my team won't trust me.
Because things that have value have structure. They have boundaries. You can't just walk in whenever you want.
Absolutely.
You know, and do you feel like, you know, just obviously like sometimes like people who are like supervisors who are black, who have black employees, sometimes, you know, the employees take advantage of them because like, oh, well, he's the homie. That's like my uncle. So it's like, I don't know if you had issues with just like trying to be like, hey guys, we gotta be serious.
Absolutely. So
we're filming right now.
There was a moment where I had to address everyone and let everyone know that, okay, my director's hat is on. So I want you guys to know that I appreciate all of you for being here. I know that this is something you guys are volunteering and helping me with. Like, this is a passion project. I can't wait to do this. Mm-hmm. Thank you for doing this.
Right.
But we have to do it. Like, we can't be laughing in between or during rehearsal.
Right.
And it's slowing the process down, or we can't show up late and leave early, or we can't not be prepared with our lines when we're filming.
Right.
No. Okay. And, you know, I got my shout out to my cousin Josh. He's the casting director. I don't have to be the bad guy anymore. He's like, you
Josh
let me do it. Josh will do it. Josh will definitely be like, no, don't worry about it, Troy. Hey, you. Let me holler at you real quick.
That's super dope.
He'll take him outside. He'll talk to him, whoever it is, him or her, and they come back and magically they know their lines really well. And I'm like, huh. Okay.
Now, is Josh the tall guy?
Oh, no. Josh about 5'8", 5'9", right. with bald head, with glasses. Uh-huh. He's one of the best actors, like, I know. And I grew up with, like, we've known each other since birth.
Man.
We grew up together. They moved to Louisiana for a bit, and he moved out here. That is a person who knows, like, what a good performance is. But he's also a person, he's a no-nonsense type of individual.
Man, I had no idea how many good actors there are in Wichita, man. Like, I had no idea.
Oh, man.
You know, I like even remember when Deontay did that play, I was just like, man, that's my first time seeing, I was going to call him Tobias, but seeing Tyler.
Avery, yeah.
Seeing Tyler act, I was like, man, this is cool, man. So, like, it's just really awesome, man. But I do have questions about the Seeds movie because I don't know if you feel comfortable being able to, like, share exactly, I mean, spoilers or stuff like that. I mean, it is out now, but if you don't, I respect that. But when I watched the movie, I guess from my perspective, I'm still trying to figure out why Nook died in the first scene. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to also understand, like, was Alex's character Marley, did she know he was gonna die?
Did she know he was gonna die?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
Because it, like, in the movie, it seemed like she was really, like, sad about, like, hey, like, he's dead. Like, that was her husband, right?
Yes.
But then, like, it's almost like they had, like, this business, right? Of, like, hey,
I guess I can unpack this by now. Like, I guess I can really, because the truth is there's Easter eggs throughout the whole movie that, like, it feels like nobody,
Easter eggs, yes.
Nobody is, like, picking up at all. I'm telling you who's doing it, like, virtually the entire movie. Right. You know? So does she know that he was going to die? Long story short, yes, she did.
Right.
But she has to play the part, you know, because ultimately the whole deal is, you know, the trauma that she went through with her father. Mm-hmm. And then you have you have now, like, how she is surviving is by selling life insurance to her husbands and taking that life insurance once they die and going to go start a new life.
So it's a business.
Absolutely.
It's a business that her mom taught her?
No.
Was her mom doing it?
No, like, her mother. So her mother is completely traumatized from her father. Oh, I'm sorry, from her husband dying, getting that knife in his back. And
I thought that maybe she told the kids to kill the father so she could get the money. And then, which is like a family, like, you know, tradition. That's my thought was like, okay, Alex is, like, literally, that was really Alex's mom too, which is pretty dope.
Yes, that was actually.
And I was thinking, like, okay, like, she's in this abusive relationship, so she somehow had to figure out a way to get rid of him, make some money at the same time. And like, wow, let's just that's a family thing.
That's what I can tell you right now is that's how I'm going to tell you. I would say is that she's doing this on her own merit, as far as you know. Yes, as far as you know.
Okay, because it's going to be a sequel.
Oh man,
it's gonna be a sequel,
Come
man.
on, man.
I see.
Everybody keep asking me that. We'll see.
Yeah, it's all right. And like I said, like because I know, like when I see Jordan Peele's interviews, he likes for people to figure out on their own.
Yeah.
So I respect that.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like a song. Like hey, what did you mean by this lyric?
Exactly.
Be mysterious about it.
For sure. That's why in the movie, the Easter eggs that are there, they're meant to like. The film is actually meant for you to watch twice.
I know because I'm actually like because I watched it twice and I'm like now like before I didn't have enough time but I wanted to watch it again just to be like with like having like a pen and pad to ask me questions for the interview. But yeah, man, it's just it's just super dope, man. Like I was saying earlier too, like being able to see like hey like I know where they're at in this neighborhood. Like,
that's cool. Like
because I'm trying to guess like in that first scene like where you guys are out east, right?
Yes. Yes.
What neighborhood exactly?
That was up by Heights, Southern Falls.
Bro, I was just like, bro. And like inside the house, I'm like, this looks like a house in Wichita.
Absolutely.
Like,
that was my uncle's house. Yeah. And he wasn't there. He just let me do what I wanted to do. So
was that Alex's son that killed Nook in that first scene when they had the mask and everything like that?
Mm-hmm.
Or was that the
he was the one with the baseball bat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
and
there.
He went upstairs. Now you didn't see him when Nook turned around and he wasn't on the ground anymore. Right. And then you get upstairs, it's a whole nother situation. Like, whoa, how did you get upstairs? Oh.
Right. How did you get upstairs?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, there's a little tag team situation going there.
So then was Marley's character, did she know about Tobias before? Like, was that all intentional as well? Was like she kind of like baited him to like approach her so she could kind of do this whole cycle again?
So I had another scene or another clip that I wanted to add to it so that you could see that she kind of has been following this guy. And I took that out. But yes, long story short, yes, she knew about Tobias before she met him.
Because I could see like the way she was looking. It was like, man, she was.
Yeah, I had a whole intro where Tobias, like, it was just like his day. He got started with his day. He went, took his car to the car wash. He went to the coffee shop, and then you just see Marley casually in the background,
just over there looking, observing.
Because she knows that he comes there every single day.
Man, that's crazy.
He was supposed to go to the construction site, and and then he's getting ready. He's driving, listening to the radio. I actually was supposed to get a deal with 93.5. They were going to just be doing some talking at that time.
That would have been super dope.
That would have been super dope just to add that.
Especially like with Alex working for the radio back then?
Yeah, so it would have been her voice, but like obviously it's Alex in the movie. Like it's not Marley.
That would have been dope.
That would have been cool. I cut all that out. I actually we started filming.
It might have been a good idea now looking back at it, right?
Yeah, I could have added that more to it, but then she just shows up to Kevin's party because she was invited by somebody random in there.
Now, is Kevin the therapist? Is Kevin the therapist? In
Shane.
That's Shane. Shane's the therapist, right?
How everyone on our cast and crew, we got Shane that lived, and then dead Shane, which is Nook. Yeah, because they're both Shane, and that's why when she meets him at the game night, it's she has that flashback right then. Like Shane, and like dang, like your name's Shane too.
Now help me understand about the guy who plays Trey. I'm trying to figure out his role. Danye. Okay. So Danye is that's his name in real life, right?
Yeah.
And then he plays Trey, the guy with the dreads that approaches Alex.
Yes.
Like in the first time you see it, it's almost like, hey, you're harassing me. But then like on the other side of it, it's like more of like, hey, like I'm keeping you in check. Like you need to do this. Like help me break down that like relationship there. Like,
okay. So Trey is the son of Marley's first marriage. His father was much older.
The one that Marley killed.
Yes. Well, it was here's the thing. I'm gonna give everybody just a little bit.
Okay, that's all right. That's all we'll get for a little bit now.
Marley actually never gets caught. Like she never gets caught actually killing any of these men. She's never there when it happens. Ever. So like, remember at the beginning of the movie, she wasn't there when that situation happened with Nook's character, with Dead Shane, right? His father, Trey's father, he died of cancer, is what it was, because he was sick.
Right. And
he was already dealing with something. So and that's a conversation that Kevin and Detective Bree were having in the office. This man died of cancer.
I thought he had a knife to his back.
Well, that was Nook. That was Nook's character.
Well, the one that remember when Alex, when she was a kid,
that was her father.
Okay.
That was
okay. Gotcha.
So that was young Marley. Yeah,
it was young Marley. Okay.
Yeah,
got you.
So when she was first married, that was Trey's father, and Trey knew she had something to do with his death because it was said that he died of cancer, but there was other things actually going on with him.
So what really?
So like she was poisoning him in his food and stuff like that, and but she never got caught for any of that.
So how many people did she kill?
So Tobias was her third marriage. So she was working on something. Yeah. So the kids were a part of the first marriage, and Trey was a little bit younger. And then there was a little bit of time because he was older, so he had his retirement already and his life insurance and all of that. Oh, she got to live for a little bit.
Wow.
And she met the first Shane. His name is actually Shane. I gave him a last name, but he was a sports agent. So he was kind of doing his thing,
Okay, yeah, because he's on the phone, probably making some deals.
Exactly.
At work, doing his thing.
Yeah, so that situation, boom. See, her hair was different; it was straight, and then
interesting. Yeah,
she got to keep moving. She on to the next one.
So how do you come up? Like, do you write how do you come about the movie? Do you write the script first, obviously, right? And then how do you transition that into the screenplay and everything else? What's that process like?
So I'll tell you what, I come up with most of my movies with my wife, in front of her. We're normally on the road driving from, we'll go visit her family in Louisiana, something like that. Yeah. And I'm just in there, and every time we come back, I'm always motivated to start doing something. I'm like, yo, I'm ready to do the next biggest thing. It's a movie,
right?
And I came up with 4 movies on the way back, and Seeds was one of them. The Seeds was one of them. So
how long of a drive was that?
11 hours.
You came up with 4 movies in 11
4
hours?
movies, and I was just telling them to her back to back to back to back. And the Seeds, it actually I just remember talking to her, and everything just was coming out. I'm like, what would be crazy is if a single woman got married, but her kids were the killers. And at first I was like, if she didn't know that it was happening, that would be even crazier. So there's stuff that's happening there, and I had to shift it a little bit because I felt like I could add more to the story. But all her husbands would die, and everyone's looking at her like she's doing something, but it wasn't her. It was the kids. That in my mind, I'm like, it's like Home Alone, but the kids are inviting you in the house.
It's like Home Alone, but the kids are inviting you.
Exactly. So
wow.
I just from there,
that is super dope.
I just kept coming up with other movies. I came up with a father-daughter movie. I came up with
father-daughter movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's something I want to do next year.
Are you going to be the father?
Actually, yes. So it's a movie that I'm actually going to star in myself, and it's not even going to take long to do. I just have to find a young actress that can play the daughter. The father's a record exec. Into his music and all that. He's married, but he's so devoted to his music that he never developed that strong relationship and bond with his daughter and his wife. He basically started slipping away from his wife, and his wife used to sing, used to do all kind of stuff, and he just was like, take care of our daughter. Man. Something tragically happens to her, and he's left to take care of his daughter. Man. And that's going to be a touching one.
That's going to be a touching one, man. I always say, even when I'm at work talking to my clients, our life is like a Netflix series, right?
Yeah.
And so it's this is I don't know, season 20 or whatever you can say, but I'm always curious about the episodes you're watching the show and it goes back to when they're 8 or something. I always love those episodes because okay, this is how the character became to be, man. And so going back into curious about your previous episode, just growing up, being a teenager. I know you said in the past you dealt with anxiety.
Yes.
And how did you get over that? And also too was your dad influential when it came to movies or your mom or anything like that?
So when it came to dealing with anxiety, straight up, one of the things I did, because I had a panic attack that lasted 2 hours, and I could not figure out why.
Yeah.
I immediately started praying. I say immediately, but 2 hours later, I started praying about it. And I said, Lord, you didn't give me the spirit of anxiety. And I asked him to remove it from me. So he took it from me. And, I was instructed because God speaks to me. I mean, God speaks to all of us. It's just, some of us can hear a little clearer than others, I think. And that comes from actually reading his word and things like that. So he's speaking to me. I stopped eating red meat. Yeah. I stopped eating pork. I stopped taking dairy at that time. And then I started getting more rest. I was only getting like 4 hours of sleep a night at that time.
How old were you at the time?
28. I was 28. 28 years old.
Had that 2 hour long panic attack.
Man, I was in the worst shape of my life at that time. And I was trying to go to sleep. And then I just had a panic attack. And I'm just like, yo, okay. All right, just relax. And I'm doing this, like, just relax. All right, try deep breaths, just relax for 2 hours. And that was when I finally like broke down. I was crying and I'm just like, yo, I don't ever want to feel this again. Never even realized I had been dealing with anxiety since I was a kid. Didn't know what it was called. I just figured everybody dealt with whatever I was dealing with. And now to be like 35 and free of anxiety and like I have no worries. I juice, I juice for breakfast. I'll say that. And it's so much easier having a team to do things now. That's a part of the reason why I have a team. So I don't have to stress about stuff and have anxiety about it, about deadlines and things like that.
Do you think now looking back at the anxiety, what do you think was going on? Were you not really maybe God was trying to get you to align yourself with what you're supposed to be doing with your gift? Maybe at 28, maybe you had too much on your plate, or I don't know.
Yeah. So that was the same time I had left my 9 to 5 to go full time at Cox Communications, to go full time with production and podcasting and video production, all of that. And, I really wasn't focused on it the way I know I needed to be focused on it. I was just kind of half stepping, and it was causing a lot of issues with getting projects out. And now, like, looking back at it, I want to be like, that's what I get. Like, I was called to do something and I celebrated. I was like, yeah, God told me to leave my job, and, and I wasn't doing anything to add to it. Okay. As you said, I got aligned, and now, I mean,
anxiety.
What's happening?
Isn't that crazy? Because see, a lot of people, they try to push away that anxiety or, distract themselves from it or use substances or whatnot. But sometimes our breakdown is our breakthrough. And so like that was your breakthrough, possibly one of them, right?
That was.
And the scary thing about life is that God gives us more times to break down, to have more breakthroughs.
Yeah.
But that's also good in a sense, but it's scary because, there's going to be something else.
If I can be transparent about like the stuff happening now, the moment right before we hit 1 million views on the seeds, I asked God to remove the people from my life that are not adding value or pouring into the vision that you see for myself, my wife and I, and our family. Even our, and with filmmaking. And when I tell you, people started dropping like flies. And this was only maybe about like a month ago, maybe. People just started just dropping.
Oh man.
And just finding each and every way to try and like say certain things to me or try and hurt me with words. And I'm just like, I would like to think I have thick skin.
Yeah. I don't understand who would want to say mean stuff to you. Like, every time I see you, you seem a very positive person. Like,
that's
not arrogant,
that's the crazy thing.
Like that.
But see, you know what I've learned, and I'm glad that you recognize that particularly, that I'm not arrogant or conceited. I don't know what it is, but even recently, like I've ran into a group of people who like basically admitted they couldn't celebrate me or didn't celebrate me in my successes with them, or just me working on my film because they felt that I was being arrogant every time I talk about it, or they were, just my charisma about everything. and just who I am. Like, I'm excited about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And
it's in the city though too.
You know, I don't know, but like a lot of what I do, I don't understand. There is a small group of people, and I cannot focus on them because I feel like it's an attack when I try and focus on them. But it's a small group of people, white, black, that see whatever it is that I'm doing as me showing off or flexing on people. And, you know, I forgive them because I'm a man of grace. Some of them, I don't have to fool with them anymore. I choose not to. But
so let me make sure I'm hearing this right. You're saying it's not like a conspiracy or something, like there's a small group of people, like literally people like here in the city who are trying to prey on your downfall. Is it because more like they see you as a competitor or something? Or
I think a couple of them do, but like the other ones are just they're so used to like their environment and the people coming in being like them and being very very reserved and introverts. They don't like it's funny because I feel like I am an introvert, but I'm coming so much more out of my shell now. Yeah. I've always been kind of just reserved, but I will once I get to talking, I get to talk. I'm going to talk, you know.
You're Gemini.
Yeah.
Messenger,
There's
man.
that.
That's what
I'm gonna talk. So
it's a Gemini right there.
Yeah. So
because you know, like I know XV is big in astrology.
Oh yeah,
he always is. Like,
we've had many of these talks.
He's told me one thing, but like he said about Geminis, they're like the messenger, and so like from people like obviously from big names, Tupac, Kanye, even like Trump,
Ice Cube,
Jordan Peterson, Kendrick, they deliver a message. Sometimes it's through like art or voice, but like it can also be through media.
Yeah.
So. But back on what you're saying though, man, it's really interesting. And we don't have to focus too much on it. You don't have to say anybody's names, but it's just like, it's just surprising to me to hear that. I wouldn't even imagine. And the first thing that comes to my mind is like, maybe this group is a group of somebody who are not of our race. And they're like envious the fact that, who's this black guy coming on the scene making movies.
Yeah.
But I could be completely wrong. Could be even sad to say people. Okay,
you're not.
Because at first I was thinking like, all right, there's like maybe you know how our culture sometimes can be crab in the barrel.
Yes.
So I'm thinking like, okay, maybe it's this person, but I guess I'm right.
No, yeah. I mean, it's when I say it's a dash of us, I mean it's very, very minute. Like I can only count maybe one or two, but no, I mean like.
It's like you, Bray, Dre. He's for the culture too.
Yeah, Dre's definitely for the culture.
Yeah,
that's my guy. And me and him, like he's the one I learned a lot of this stuff from.
Yeah, you were what do they call it? Co-directing?
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah,
was it? Did he do a movie? Or I know he does a lot of music videos and stuff.
He hasn't done a movie yet. I've been doing everything to talk him into doing a movie, and he's just like, just wait, Troy. Just let me get things in order. He has kids too, and. How many kids he got now? He has 2.
I when I saw Dre last month for Big Sam's podcast that he did, I was like, man, Dre, remember back in 2012 you did a music video for me and you only charged me $230.
Oh my gosh.
$230.
That was a blessing for you.
You know what I mean? But like it was like when he was like new, like he didn't have all the equipment. Yeah. Because if he did, he would probably charge me like $1,200.
And the skill is something about Dre's eye. And that's why, like, when Dre and I work on anything together, it's always, I say this with confidence. Mm-hmm. No, there's no arrogance. There's no me being conceited or anything. Anytime Dre and I are working on something together, you're going to get fire. Oh, you're going to, absolutely. Because I can actually direct and move about the actors. And Dre's eye, you cannot get that from anyone. Big Dog. Look at Big Dog. Like, Dre shot it.
What?
Yeah. Oh, nobody reads the credit. Dre shot Big Dog. And I got to direct everybody. So, yeah.
Wow. So, hold up. So, yeah, you're right about that. People need to read the credits, man. So, wow. So, let me get this straight. So, Cassides, you directed and you moved the camera, right? Because, like, somebody like me, Angelo. We speak like layman's terms, right? Yes. Like, you were the guy moving the camera. Yeah. You and Angelo, right? Yeah. But you were also telling people, hey, move over here. Yes. So that's a lot of work.
Absolutely.
And then, so now for this new movie, right? Yeah. You're not moving the camera.
No. Matter of fact, because I emulated a lot of what I do, my movements from Dre, Dre's going to do the stuff that I want for each shot. Wow. And that's how that works. That's why, like,
You can trust his eye because
absolutely. That's why I said we're like he shot it, so I got to edit. And when I direct, I want to edit it. So I'm like, yo, Dre, get all the shots, do it, do this, do that, whatever. He's telling me what you think about this. That's dope. Do it. But when I get the footage, I'm going to edit it. I'm going to put it together. I'm going to cut it together, and it's going to be something worth watching.
So directors, they also edit, or they can, or is that different? Or
here, the directors are editing. Like me, Bray, Dre, we're editing. That's what we do.
Wow. Yeah. What program are you using?
Premiere Pro.
Man, bro, you're going to have to help me out, bro, because like I told you before, like there's so much. I finally now feel like I got a good enough computer that can pick up the speed. Because when I did like music videos for myself, like way back in the day, just for fun, and my computer never could like handle the RAM or the gigabytes. But now computers are so fast, you can edit stuff on your phone. But like, man, Premiere gets on my nerves, man. Sometimes that stuff just be moving around. I have to exit out exit out of the holes. I'm like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, it could get a little clunky. That's for sure. For me, I edited a lot of my work up until 2020 when we got our stimulus checks. I finally got a computer kind of built out. I some of my own money in there.
You built it from scratch?
Yeah, but I was editing a lot of my work off of a 2015 MacBook Air. Everything, podcasts, and it was my wife's. I just kind of commandeered that, but I finally got a computer built to be able to handle, 6K footage, 6K raw footage,
6K.
Just anything I can throw into it, it can handle it now. So now I'm about to get another one. So I'm gonna spend a little more money, build a server.
Let's say like real quick, like there's a young adult, right, who wants to be able to make their own movie one day. Maybe they're like, young age, individual. And what would be the things they need to have equipment wise to get started?
Make it real simple for you. A camera, an audio, and lighting. That's it. And have a good story. Have your story have a main character, have their goal, and they need a conflict. That is the literally the base of building a good story.
Isn't that crazy? That's it.
That's it. That's literally it. A main character, their goal, and what's the conflict of them getting to that goal.
Bro, when I hear that, I automatically think about life. Because we need conflict.
Yes.
Have a main character. Yeah. We need light. That's the source, right?
That is it.
You can't do nothing without that.
Can't.
Just like with filming.
Yes.
And what did you say? Conflict, story, main character.
Right.
And then what was the fourth one?
I said sound. I know I said that in there. I don't know if you said that, but
you do need a good sound, right?
Yeah. But resolution. You can create a resolution for that in there when you're building that. But if you don't have these three, the character, the goal, and the conflict, you're going to be in trouble because that's going to be a bad story. Man,
talk about a little about lighting. Like, did you learn how to light through like just watching YouTube videos, through school, just trial and error, or like because I see you like you had one time you were standing on a ladder trying to get like the light and it's like all these different creative things like behind the scenes. I'm like, man, like
if I'm being honest, I still don't know how to light. Man, the little bit of lighting I do know that I am learning or that I've picked up was a lot of trial and error. Was lighting podcasts that is not the same as lighting films.
Oh no, at all, man, because you're outdoors and like stuff is moving. Like podcasts, we just sitting down, like our hands moving, our eyes move. So
me, getting to be a part of the creative team at New Spring Church, the film director there, his name is Justin Arwood, has taught me so much about, and literally just me watching him, I've learned so much about lighting and the tools to use for lighting. You don't even need a lot for lighting, but lighting is so important. Harsh lighting, soft lighting. You got to make the choice. You got to shape the light. Negative fill. That's something I learned from Dre, because Dre is just he's a stickler about getting negative.
Is that the gray looking like thing you hold up or something?
Or it's a black.
Okay.
You put black on the side that your camera's on. So like the camera's right here. He would put like a negative fill off the side of the camera to give me that shadow,
more
give you
dramatic,
that cinematic look there. Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
So that's just.
Would you say this is harsh lighting?
This is not harsh lighting. This is very soft.
It's soft. You feel like
it's soft. Because I put my hand up here and you would see, like, you could literally see you would be able to see the outlines of my hands if it was like, it'd look like this right there. It'd be, but I do this. It's soft, so it's shadow.
If it's harsh, you could put your hand right there and you can see the shadow.
Or really like right here, it's called Rembrandt lighting.
Okay.
But like you're lighting this side of my face, and if it was harsher, you'd see this little triangle. I still kind of got a little triangle on there with it, but. No, this is soft lighting right here.
Okay, yeah, man, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
What term would you like to be like under, like visionary, filmmaker, man of God, obviously, but like what would be the best title as far as like the directing and the video part would you like?
Oh man, that's tough. I don't know. I commonly say I'm a filmmaker. That's probably my go-to because
everybody knows what that means.
Yeah, but I don't just do films. I do podcasting. I do talk shows. I do documentaries, which are still like films.
Yeah.
So virtually, I'm a creator.
There we go. I think that's the best. Yeah, creator.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, that's what connects all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're creating something, man.
And Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. God is a creator. And, like that's one of the best things that I love about him is that he's also given us that gift to create here,
Do you feel like we're co-creators, like lowercase g gods?
Oh, I would say that
not
we are,
the God, like uppercase G, but like lowercase G, like we're co-creaters with them. Or
I personally wouldn't even say that. I'd say we're vessels because it's him, and he's using us to be able to showcase that. Now I can see how that might be still like that feels like semantics. No,
vessel. So
I think vessel.
So like we're a radio, and he's kind of more like the frequency or the channel coming in like 93.59.
I would say that
we're just the radio
because
we're nothing with the radio is nothing without the signal.
Exactly, because he can put a new radio right there. You know what I'm saying? So
he can turn that
just
one
remove
off.
that one, or just this one's not working anymore. Or, you know what? Come back home. I got someone else that's gonna be in that place.
Yeah, but I like that vessel. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think we're vessels, and for the things that he truly like I would say for a lot of the things that we're doing, I think in everything that we can do, we can always give him that honor of him being sovereign and him being the one that sees over everything, the Father of all. And for me, I want to be able to always showcase that light. I follow Christ. I'm a Christian.
Absolutely.
So in every film that I do, there's going to be something of Christ. I didn't really get to do it in the seeds. I got so caught up in my own stuff.
For sure.
But every film moving forward, there's going to be something about Christ in there.
Love that. I love that. I was curious, like the word seeds, right? Like when I think of seeds, I think of like the music video you did for XV, like when he's getting out of the dirt.
Yeah.
But like, why the name Seeds?
I actually came up with that name when I came up with the movie. So that was in 2020. So that was even before XV.
Was that before the car ride?
No, that was the car ride.
Oh, okay. Yeah. When you came up with the name, like we're gonna call it Seeds.
That was the car ride. So that would have been 2020. We were moving about right as things were opening up a little bit. So we were like, yo, let's go to Louisiana right now.
Mardi Gras.
So the Seeds that was something I came up with for the movie because it was something that was, I needed something to relate to like multiple things. So it needed to relate to the children.
Right.
It needed to relate to the actual, like the metaphor, the seeds you plant. Or the seeds you sow, so you'll reap. And yeah, that was pretty much it. That was those two things.
Man,
but I
that's
needed
super
it to
dope.
go with the kids.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be something that when you first see it, you're not going to think children. You're not going to think offspring. But,
Absolutely. Oh, okay. So you're saying like the seeds is the offspring, hence the kids are the ones taken out.
Yeah, like those.
Who trained the kids to kill?
That's a good question, man.
Because normally kids are not have the courage to even go through something like that.
Right.
Something happened or somebody taught them like, hey, this is how you do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's for a sequel.
Yeah. Come on, hey.
Like that was.
That's why I said it's a good question, man. You're asking some good questions. You know what? To the point where I said that all of this, like, I was telling you the whole time that it was the kids. Like, people don't even recognize that when they were sitting down at dinner and the camera was going across. They were sitting down with Tobias, and the camera was, was panning around the table. If you look at the daughter's shirt, you look at Aria's shirt, she was wearing Scream. What's his name? Ghostface. Ghostface was on her shirt.
Oh shoot!
He's a hoodie killer, and the hoodies were in the movie.
I also picked up an Easter egg when Alex's son in the movie and in real life, Braylon, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know his name in the movie, but Jackson. When Jackson asked Tobias in the kitchen, he said, "Are you a fighter?"
Oh yeah, that was the same dinner time. Yeah,
because it's almost kind of like I pictured like almost like on Get Out.
Yeah, when
the guy asked the other kid like, "Hey, do you like
That's
MIA?"
where I got it from. That was something. That was the one thing I took, and I was like, I like that.
Right.
Okay, let me borrow that.
Right, because it's like, and I knew something was off too. It's just like, hey, like maybe he was just saying, "Are you gonna be able to help protect my mom?" Or "Are you a square?" Yeah. But really, it's just like, I need to know if you're a fighter because I need to train.
Exactly.
To be able to fight.
Exactly. No, that was my hats off to Jordan Peele. That was my, my ode to him. Him asking if he could fight. Yeah, and then, he hit him in the shoulder. He was like, "Well, I'll fight you."
Exactly.
He was like,
right, that's exactly. There we go. If you could meet Jordan Peele, like, what questions would you like have for him?
Oh my goodness, how much time you got? Oh my gosh, yeah, I'd be like, listen, Jordan, I need to know your writing process. I need to know your inspiration for each of these films. I have to know the process of selecting which actors. What are you looking for? What traits do they have that are going to be able to tell the story that you want to tell? And are you someone who wouldn't mind having an intern or an apprentice
to be a student,
just so that I can be in the environment of how you create and what it is that you're doing?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Jordan Peele is a genius.
And I'm trying to figure out because he was on Comedy Central, like through my eyes, he was on Comedy Central making like this pretty much like a Dave Chappelle kind of show.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it just, I'm like, what did I miss? That's why I'm like trying to figure, where did I miss? Like, was he? I know he did like SNL or Saturday Night Live or something like that.
Mad TV.
Mad TV, that's what it was. But I'm like, where was he? I don't know. Like, you probably know more than I do, maybe about his background. But I'm just like, he just made this movie.
Always been like this, according to him. He's always thought this far outside of the box.
Yeah, and
it was just a matter of time for him to actually get to the point where he could film his own or direct his own movies, his own stories. And, like Key and Peele was a stepping stone. That was, a taste of what he could do. Of course, it's in the vein of comedy, but
it's funny.
And there's always going to be an aspect of comedy in every single one of his films, I believe.
Oh yeah, he has to keep that.
It is very it's like dark. Some of it's dark humor, but it's nonetheless, but it's still captivating. Right. And one of my goals, I made a post on Facebook before. I said one of my 2 goals I want to meet is to make a film that grosses higher than Nope, which was like 250,000 at that time. 250 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah, and then I want to buy back our home from Corona, California, before we moved out here, and that home's like $900,000. Like, it's expensive. It's crazy. California's crazy.
Oh my goodness!
But I want to buy that home just to keep it in the family.
It's kind of like what Tyler did.
Yeah,
a little bit with like his plantation or whatnot.
Absolutely.
So that would that be success to you? Like being able to do those 2 things.
It would be a goal for me. If I'm being honest, I feel like I have reached a level of success because of my obedience, you know, to what I've been instructed to do. And, you know, God was very clear. I wrote 3 pages of what he wanted me to do. And, you know, my obedience, through obedience, I feel that is success. So for me, that is being able to buy back that home and being able to make a film that grosses more than Nope would be a milestone for me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not done there.
Because what was that quote, the success quote that you quoted, the Darren Hardy? When he said success is pretty much being able to say and think what you do at the same time, like being able to walk and talk the vision, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Being
able to say it. So whatever, it's like pretty much alignment of what you're saying and what you're doing.
Yeah. Earl Nightingale actually said this. He said, the secret to success is you are what you think about. Yes. So
being, alignment.
Yeah. So me, I'm constantly thinking about like I always think about conclusions or solutions of certain things of whatever situation I'm in, but I'm constantly thinking, how am I growing as a Christian? How am I growing as a husband? How am I growing as a friend? And filmmaking, filmmaking is one of the things that golly, being able to tell a story, whether I'm in front of the camera or behind the camera, being able to tell the story efficiently and having the people, you know, help me tell a story.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's the beautiful part, because you can't really tell the story without people. I mean, you can, but it's not going to be as good, I feel like.
Absolutely. You know? Absolutely. And, you know, even through the lens, like I think Angelo is going to be one of the best cinematographers. This man is a beast when it comes to learning and picking it up so fast. He's gonna be a beast. So he's one of the ones that I really lean on when we're filming something. I'm like, Angelo, okay, I need this, whatever. You know, we're talking, we're doing, because The Seeds was the first film anything that he's ever done, right? So ever since then, I mean, even before then, we've been filming together now over 2 years. But I think he's going to be one of the best cinematographers coming from Wichita. Dre is already one of the best cinematographers out of the state. You know what I'm saying? So being able to have people like that behind the lens.
What do you see about Angelo that makes you say that?
Angelo is a go-getter. And what I mean, like, he's a doer.
He really is.
He is a doer.
And he talked about, too, on the podcast how, like, he pretty much had a calling from God to tell him to kind of start doing movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then that's when he popped up at Douglas Social, and then all that happened. It's crazy. I think it was one of his family members or friend, I forgot who he said, told him, like, you need to get into film. You know, because I know he wants to step away from music videos, you know, and kind of get into more of the movies.
Yeah. And that's my guy. He knows he always has a place with Drew Vision and the team and what we're doing. He was probably the one who showed up. I could count on one hand how many times he didn't show up. I'll say it like that. Right. And obviously no shade to the rest of the team, because everyone has obligations and we're all volunteering and doing what we do. Angelo would adjust his schedule with these artists to shoot their music videos, to record their music, to come and film a movie, you know, come film a scene with me. So yeah, that's awesome. He is a doer. And if you don't have doers around you, then you have takers. That's how I feel.
Man, that's real.
Yeah. I mean, being in a space where you have the light on you, or you have people saying, hey man, you're doing great, or I want to be a part of what you got going on. Yeah. It's important to have those people around you continue being doers, because some people will succumb to what everyone else is saying, like, oh yeah, no, he's got the light, or he's on top, or, you know, he's the best here, whatever it is. And people start looking at that, and it's like, okay.
I'm still having a hard time getting over the fact that people will see you as arrogant. Like, I'm still like, and I don't want to get stuck there, but it's just like, it just kind of baffles me. But I mean, then again, people, maybe that was just like a projection of their own kind of thing, man. But I know when I reached out to you to give you those flowers, when you guys had 200,000 views for the video, I was excited. I was like, at 200,000, I was like, bro, like, that's big. But then like it just like days later, I'm just like, yo, what? 700,000.
Yeah.
And now it's like well over 2 million. Like, bro, when this episode is released, like I don't even know how many views it's gonna have by then, man.
Yeah.
Like
really to when I think about like people who see me as arrogant or conceited, it baffles me too. I never understand what I said or what I did makes a person think or feel that way. And I had a conversation with a friend not long ago, and they had mentioned something about this is true. Like, why did you make Big Dog? Why did you make that trailer? Like it's cool and all, but like you got movies going on. You just you hit a milestone on the seeds with the views, and you got all this other stuff going on. Like, so like, are you flexing on people? And I actually started crying, like, because I never understand why people would gather the fact that I'm doing this to show off or to hurt someone else or to put it in someone else's face. For what? I genuinely don't gain anything from that. And it does me no good because I still have to show and prove. I gotta go make the movie. Yeah. Like, what is a trailer gonna do? Hey, I might get some people to invest in it, but it does me no good to show to flex on my own people at that.
Yeah. What made you cry about it?
Because that person's a friend. That person's a really close friend, and we've been good friends for years. And the fact that we got to that point and they saw me in that light after all this time, and I'm like, man, like.
What? Quick question: was that before or after you said that prayer?
It was after. It was after. Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
For me, it meant that there was going to be a breakthrough coming, because what actually happened was I explained to that person who they were in my life and why it is that I do the stuff that I am doing. And I know that's a person in my spirit. I know that's a person that's a person that's supposed to be here, that's not supposed to leave, that's going to be a part of whatever it is I'm doing.
Right.
So, but it was a breakthrough that we actually had in our friendship. And, they were like really just in awe of where they actually stood in my life, and not being able to see that I'm doing this for people. I'm doing this for us. I'm doing it truthfully. I do this for the kids. That's hurtful. And I'm like, man, I know I'm like, we're better than that.
It seems like to me, like it was his own internal, feelings displaced onto you, possibly from maybe you getting the attention, and that's what it just seems like. Like the psychology of it. It's like, because I remember like in college too, like I had a friend and he would say stuff, oh, you think you're better than me? I'm like, no, I just want to live a better life. Like I'm not saying I'm better than you because I want to stop going out or doing this stuff, right? But it's interesting in relationships with humans, right? It's it's like it make life worth living, but at the same time, it's like, damn, like really, like I'm doing this for like everybody. Why didn't you see it like that?
Yeah, and I know everybody's not going to like what I do.
Yeah.
That's okay. It wasn't for them. And I've gotten to that point where I can read negative comments and not feel hurt by them. Eat the meat, spit out the bone.
How do you get to that point though?
That comes with understanding who you are.
Right. Not taking it personal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I know that nobody was there as I was editing this film. Like those people, I'm sorry, let me say it like this. Those people who were giving me those negative comments, they weren't there throughout the duration, the creation of this entire project.
Absolutely not.
It took us so long to write this film. It took us even longer to film it, 9 months to get everything we needed for it. And it took us.
Was that how long it was? 9 months?
Yeah, it took us about 9 months, and just working around people's schedule. It'll never take me 9 months to do another movie, by the way.
Man, to me, that feels short. Like 9 months, I'm like, it's like the only 9, I'm like, only 9 months?
Yeah, well, so, we had, like I said, locations, pregnancies, work stuff, relationship stuff that was going on. And
so from when you were in that car ride going back home from Louisiana, from the Orpheum, October 2023, when was that when you were in that car ride thinking about Seeds?
When was that? That was 2020.
2020.
Yeah, that was probably June of 2020, June or July of 2020.
And it's still like within 3 years of having the idea, then to see it on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, what was that like being at the Orpheum, like seeing your like movie?
I'm gonna be transparent. It was very surreal, very overstimulating, and I still deal with just a little bit of social anxiety with big crowds. Yeah. Whether it's me or it's anywhere else, because just having that attention on me, I'm just like,
it's a lot of attention.
So I'm very reserved, and I really have to be short with my conversation because I'm very overstimulated in that moment.
Right, it's understandable.
Yeah, but it was phenomenal having my family there, getting to see it. My brother one of my older brothers flying from California to come see, and the people that showed up, man, it could have been 10 people in there, and I'd have felt the exact same way. I promise.
That's awesome.
So I finished it. That was the thing.
And everybody gets to see it. Like,
yeah, I talked about doing a movie since 2017. I actually shot for a trailer in 2017. I had Big Sam out there. I had my wife as a detective. I had a couple of my friends, and they were doing some like surveillance, and oh man, it was so dope. It was so cool, and I never put it.
I remember.
Together.
I don't even know why I'm just now thinking this, but like I remember. Me and my friends, we had a movie. It was starring Quavell Daly.
Oh, wow.
It was called Fidello. And never got finished because the footage got deleted. But it was, I'm talking about low budget. Like, nothing like this. Like a low, like an old camera. But it was just like, it was fun doing it. Like, I remember Kim Palmer was in a couple scenes. Like, we were just like, this was about like 2009. We were just having fun. But like, I could only imagine... It's actually Angelo calling me right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's my guy. Yeah,
Let me pick it up real quick. Yo, what's good, Angelo?
What's going on?
I'm actually recording Troy right now on the podcast. Oh,
what's
no,
up?
man. I was just reaching out.
What's up, man? What's going on, brother? Man, thanks for keeping the seat. You kept the seat warm for my turn. So I'm a return the favor at some point, man.
Ah, man, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, man, make sure you get a good price on him, man. Troy's time is worth a lot of money nowadays.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, because the next movie, bro, you might not even.
I know.
Might not be able to afford him, bro.
No.
Definitely, man. He's definitely speaking very highly of you as well, bro. So, yeah, man. I'm gonna let you go though, man. But thanks for calling back, man. I didn't want nothing too much.
Nah, man, you good, bro. You know I'm gonna call back. I just got done shooting a little video for an artist, so I was doing that.
For sure, man. Yep. Definitely, man. You take it easy though, bro. All right.
All right, bet. I hope you got about 3 hours.
God.
Troy talk like me, bro.
All right, bro. Drop safe, man.
I love both of y'all, man. Y'all take care.
All right, love you too,
definitely,
bro.
Man. Thank you, man. You take it easy.
I bet, for sure. Yes,
for sure.
Peace.
Man, Angelo's so cool though, man. Yeah. Lyrical Miracle. That's how I remember him, man.
Miracle.
I remember him as Lyrical Miracle back in the day, man. So, yeah, man. I forgot what you were talking about before Angelo called, so my apologies.
No, you're good. You're good. It was about the like from inception to
2017 when you first had the idea, and then being overstimulated at the theater. And I know some of the actors might be. I know Alex probably was feeling like, "Wow, it's me on the screen."
Pregnant, just I like, know. Whoa, and just wow, and Ty Avery. That's when I tell you that's a guy who is serious about his craft, and like that man wants to, like, he wants it, you know. So it's about putting him in the best position to win. And I'm glad that he and I got to work together on my first project. You know, those two as leads. Yeah. Alex never done a movie. She's never acted.
I know, right? That's what I was like, yes. Nothing. Just maybe photography, like some photo shoots.
Actually, we were in a short film. I did a short film with them two called Mad Heart the year before, in 2022, for the film race.
Oh, we need to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to see that.
It was called Mad Heart, and they were thieves. They were running. See, I thought that was part of the seeds. No.
That's what I was going to ask you, because when I saw that, I was like, is this part of the scene? I was like, I watched the movie. I'm like, where is that scene at?
No.
Like running down like on Douglas Street or something.
Yeah. And that was so dope, being able to just get a shot like that of them running down Douglas.
I swear that was in the trailer at one point.
Yeah. Oh no.
That footage wasn't in the
I made a trailer for that short film.
Oh, so that's probably what I was seeing a while back. Wow.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. That was the first time I ever got to see Alex act, but I just know Alex is a person, you look at her and once you get to know her, you know she has it. She's got something special. And when you know that someone has something special, you want to I know. That's what I told her, because we on the episode she came on here, we did a podcast. It was super trash in 2020, just because we had the idea, let's do something. And then after that, you guys connected and everything, so it was just super dope, seeing her just be able to grow, because I always felt like she was like a sister too, and I know you feel the same way that, so that's super dope, bro. We started that Pillow Talk podcast. So the thing was, we started it 21, and then she moved out of town for a little bit, came back. I was like, hey, all right, you here, let's just get it going. Okay, so we revamped it and had it going again, and then I brought her with me to host some she was basically like a host for my recaps.
Taco Fest and all that stuff.
Taco Fest. We had Jazz Fest that I don't think anybody's ever seen, but it's out there. And then she was a host for Blackout Awards 2022.
Right.
She was the interview in the...
Was that the first Blackout Awards?
Second. That was the second one.
So when was the first one?
2019, right before COVID. So the next one probably would have been 21.
And you won 2019 and 2022?
No, Bray won 2019.
Oh, okay.
And oh my goodness, I was hurt. I was there doing the video production. Well, I was getting the recap and doing the same thing, interviewing people and stuff. And I was one of the nominees, and Bray won, and I was so hurt.
Because he did the PP. Well, that wasn't even the PPP loan came after.
Pro 2 had just come out, I think. When was that? September. I think Pro 2 was getting ready to come out. Yes, Pro 2 was getting ready to come out, and then they were going to start Unsurety the very next year. So only his second movie. Wow. He had just finished. Wow. So, I was hurt, but that was the kick in the butt I needed.
Do you think as a city, we could just get all the cinematographers together and just do just one big movie, or is there too many egos to get in the way for that, or
it's way too many egos. I'm just joking. Kind of. No,
you know what I mean?
No, we've actually talked about it. Me, Bray, Dre, and I have actually talked about doing something. Even getting with Angelo, and if we were able to do something in collab, that would be something crazy, I think. And Bray's actually, he's voiced this out loud. He's actually made a post about this.
Okay.
He said, yo, if I get the funds to be able to do this, I'm getting Troy to direct the movie. He said he's going to executive produce it, but Troy's going to direct it. Dre's going to shoot it. Angelo's going to be over the audio. And he said, we about to have the best movie to come out, period. You know? And I'm like, he might be right.
How much does he need so we can go fund this, man?
Hey, no, he did.
What's the budget looking like?
It's public record. He said it on live.
He said,
yo, I'm going to need, each of them going to get $15K. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna need quite a bit of money to...
Man, and speaking of money, just out of curiosity, if this video keeps on getting views, like how do you divide the money, like to like the actors, to yourself? Like, I don't know if you guys figured that part out, like, because like when the money starts coming in, it's like, how does that work? Yeah.
So the way this works is, I'm a person who, if we're doing, like, if we do well, if we hit a certain threshold, I'm taking care of everybody. If we only hit like, we made our money back and I'm only able to pay like our producers back, well then everyone agreed that, hey, yeah, we were volunteering and, it is
kind of how it is.
Didn't do well
for the resume. Right?
Yeah. But, as I do this, as we keep growing and as it keeps, you know what I'm saying? I'm taking care of people.
Because this is your full-time job.
Yes. Well, this is my, let's put it like this. This is my career. And I haven't been called yet to go all the way in full time just yet.
Just yet, but almost.
Give me
when this episode drops.
When this episode drops.
Give me
a little bit, and
man,
I'll be able to actually do this full time, completely. But yeah, I'm a person who believes in taking care of the people that took care of me.
So then the money would come in from like the indie rights, like I'm guessing they'll give you like a check on YouTube.
Yeah. So like what happens is it goes through different channels, a couple of channels. So the platform, whatever it makes on the platform, that platform's like, all right, we're gonna take a percentage.
Yeah, like 30%.
Like 50%.
Oh, 50?
Yeah, no. Indie filmmakers, what 50. People gotta understand is it's not like it ain't. We hit, but we don't hit. It ain't hitting like that.
I seen an Instagram reel with, I think it was Matt Damon, and he talked about like how movies are not the same due to like DVD not being able to release, because a lot of movies would make a lot of money when the DVD release. Like, what's your thoughts about like movies in modern day time, like with that? And also too, bro, like I did want to get your thoughts about AI, artificial intelligence. Man, this stuff is just I'm kind of fascinated with AI, but at the same time, I'm nervous because I realize my job can be automated.
Yeah.
And like so many other like white collar jobs and even eventually blue collar. But like, it's just amazing to see what it can do. Like, it makes like movies now. Like some of these AI like generated. Like, I don't know if this is something you see it like, man, I'm going to use this to make better movies, or if it's kind of a threat to like the industry.
Okay, so. With the statement you made first with that was Matt Damon?
Matt Damon, yes, sir. Matt Damon, he was on a podcast and he was talking about, I'll send it to you later, but about like how the DVD release, now everything goes straight to like, the DSPs. Yeah, so I agree with him on that, where like you had the release of the film to theaters, and you're as the production company, you're counting on what monies you get back. But if you don't do well in the box office, like you don't hit a mark that you want to, that DVD release was going to be where it was like having a second release. Yeah, it really was.
Literally, it's about to match probably what you got, or you're going to go over
double.
Yeah, so that did hurt the industry a lot, which is why the industry is pivoting right now, and they're using a lot less production and crew for what it is that they're doing, and they don't even need to shoot movies with, Arri Alexa $100,000 cameras and $50,000 cameras. They're using $10,000 cameras,
really,
to make feature films. They're using $3,000 cameras. The Creator, that movie, shot on a Sony FX3.
No way!
Like one of these cameras right here, shot on a Sony FX3.
Bro, I do not believe that.
And
the Creator
with
Denzel's son,
and did crazy numbers
with a Sony FX3.
So they're learning that it doesn't take as much as like they had been putting.
I'm about to make a movie today.
I'm telling you, look, you can. That's why you need a character. You need a conflict.
What about that stabilization though? Like, because I know Dre had like some kind of like backpack thing that goes over. Like, isn't that necessary though to have so it's not moving?
Absolutely. It takes out those micro jitters, because when you're holding the camera, like your heartbeat is going throughout your entire body. So when you're holding the camera, your camera gets that, and if you have it up here, it's vibrating. So he has an easy rig, is what it's called.
That's what that called.
He connects it there, and he doesn't have to have that third point of contact. He can just keep it here, and really is guiding the camera because it's just hanging.
It's just still, right?
Yeah. So you'll need something like that, or having a gimbal. You can just put it on there and it's going to keep it steady. That type of stuff is important. So, but it doesn't cost millions of dollars to.
What was the main camera you used to shoot the Seeds movie? And was it like 3 different of the same cameras, or how does that work?
I had 5 different cameras. For this. So I had an Arri Alexa SXT. That's Sony? No, it's Arri, ARRI. The most expensive camera brand that you have. It's like that camera particularly it came out at like $70,000. Yeah, starting out. So
you can't find that at Best Buy.
No, you can't. Not at all. That's a special order there. But it was someone else's camera. He actually came and filmed the scenes that I wanted, that I needed. So that worked out well. But the main camera was the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K. I hate saying that name. It's so long.
Man.
But yeah, the Pocket 6K. And then we used a Pocket 4K for the gimbal shots, the smooth shots, walking and stuff. And then we used a Sony A7S III for one night scene, and a drone. It was the Mavic, the DJI Mavic 3 Pro. So,
see, I struggle with even trying to get the color correction to look the same with these 2 cameras, and they're the same camera and this different lens. So I'm like, you have like 5 different cameras, but how the heck?
I gave it to the colorist. I gave it to the colorist.
You have somebody who just does the color.
Just does the color.
No way.
Yeah. Same guy that owns that Arri Alexa.
Bro.
Yeah, the guy, Justin Arwood, I brought him up earlier, that I learned from at New Spring. He's one of the most gracious men I've ever met in my life. But he was like, yeah, I got it. He just did the color for the movie.
How do you send those big files? Just Google Drive? Or
you create XML files. So I edit the movie. I put like a couple of like Rec 709 like LUTs basically over top with a little color on it, and just so that I can see it for my sanity, because I cannot color an ashy video or mix or edit an ashy video.
Okay.
And then I create like this XML file for every clip. It's a little process. It takes probably like 10 or 15 minutes. Put it on a drive, give it to him. He can take that into his program, which is DaVinci, and he'll go through, color it, send it back the same way.
And then he can send it through DaVinci to Adobe.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, I would love just to like watch that process. It just seems fun to me, just to be it'll just be cool just to see like just all that, man. But man, there's so many questions there, Troy, that I could ask you. But the last one I would just ask you is just your thoughts about AI, like about artificial intelligence, because obviously the DVD did definitely take a hit for, like just streaming. But what do you see how is this looking out, like for movies and just media in general?
I have been one to embrace it and I'm finding ways how to make my films better by utilizing it. Now, I do see where the challenge will lie, where, they're going to be making films that are, like those are people and, that were created and they have a voice now and their lips are moving. And it's just constantly getting better and better and better.
So it's not going to be any actors?
There won't be any actors. They won't need them. I can create something.
So weird, though.
And you guys are going to like it. You guys are going to love this. You're going to be able to follow this character who has his own mannerisms. All of that. They're going to be able to create that. And pretty soon we won't be talking about Denzel or Leo DiCaprio or Halle Berry or Meryl Streep or anything like that.
That's crazy. You can't celebrate an AI actor.
Yeah, like what's his name? Exactly. Like we will never see his face outside of this movie or this drama series.
That's just crazy. Especially like a movie like a Toy Story could easily be done.
Yes. Oh, 1,000%.
Like rather than Training Day versus Toy Story,
they
could easily do a kids movie, and people make so much money on a kids movie.
I think one of the things that's good about us humans making these is that we will always have a human touch. I think we're more so focused on it looking real and looking like humans are doing it. And we should be focused on us actually still being able to tell a story that we relate to. Yeah, I can type in Chat GPT or Gemini and say, hey, this is what I want. Can you create this story for me? And it'll gather all the information and create a pretty generic situation for you.
Right.
You know, but to be able to have that actual human touch is what's most important, that human emotion that you feel. Like in this moment, AI is not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to compute the fact that I have, I'm dealing with stress in this moment. Or when this guy's, when this person's father dies, it's, you know, what the reaction is. Their reaction is probably going to be pretty much the same because it gathers the average thought of what everyone thinks. So there's a human touch that's still going to be different, that I believe is going to allow us filmmakers to withstand the test of time with AI. Is it going to be for long? Who knows? But
you don't really know. Everybody's going to be affected, you know, because it's still the infancy stage of AI. And, you know, like I always said, you can't automate intimacy. You know, AI is going to have a very hard time doing that. I don't think they'll be able to. You know, like even like conversations like this, like, you know, you can automate maybe attention and different other things, but not intimacy. No. You know, like the closeness, the trustworthiness of like, you know, like how these conversations go, man. But, you know, I really appreciate you coming on the show. I'm really excited. This is just making me want to go back to watch C's movie again. Yeah. They kind of just get some popcorn. Yes. Watch the movie, man. If you guys are watching this podcast and haven't watched Seeds, man, what are you guys doing? You just stop watching the podcast right now and just go ahead and watch the movie, man, because it's on Amazon. It's on YouTube. Yes. It's on Tubi. Hulu is going to be next. Man. How do you get it? How does that work? Submit it to Hulu. So Hulu is one of those platforms where you need you got to get a deal with them, and they would want the exclusive rights for a certain amount of years. So it'd be like a 3-year, $250,000 deal or something like that. Which is, you know, you need more than that. I would. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a nice deal, but you know, if I believe in my product, you know, they're probably gonna make more than that, and I'm like, I could probably go to another platform and make more than that there. Right. You know, but, you know, if you're an indie filmmaker, nobody knows you, you know, ultimately in this industry, even the ones making 10, 12 movies a year and putting them on mostly Tubi or whatever, like the industry really still doesn't know them. Yeah. So, but I am excited to be able to one day have a film, have a deal with Netflix, have a deal with HBO Max, have a deal with Stars even. Or if I get a really good deal with Hulu and, you know, it works out really well for them. Yeah, bro. Amazon, you know, Tyler Perry just Divorcing the Black had a deal with Amazon. Man, I really enjoyed that movie. Yeah, and it went crazy, right? You know, a lot of people, you know, he did something, and I feel like I know what he did, but I feel like he was able to get a lot of that Tubi audience over to Prime to come watch that movie, which made Prime's subscriptions go up like the most they've ever had on that platform. So it's about numbers. Oh yeah. Make something for this large group of people, like on Tubi. Tubi is mostly black, and I mean, when I tell you they are coming in droves to come watch these films, they really are. They are going crazy. I'm talking millions of people coming to watch independent black cinema, right? So Perry knew what he was doing, got them on over to Prime because he made a movie that was for them, and it went crazy. I see it. That's so, you know, don't sleep on Tubi if y'all out there and y'all just like, I don't know what to watch. Go watch some of these indie films. Tubi. They got good stories. You can't. Can you recommend some that you like? Maybe like that some of the ones that you're inspired by, like. Oh yeah, anything. I would say right now, anything Dennis Reed is putting out right now. He's a director out in Detroit. He's one of those ones that's like his stories are always really pretty good. They're really good actually. And when I tell you he's kicking out a movie every month virtually, it's amazing. That's great. Every month. Yeah, he's going crazy. Dennis Reed is a good filmmaker on there.
and Lisa Brown is another one. The Blacks. So it's Rocky and Rocky and his wife. Golly, I can't spit her name out. But Rocky Black and his wife.
Yeah.
They're putting out some quality films, and that's a couple that actually gets Tubi originals.
Wow.
Tubi original deals. So that something works out well. Man.
So when this episode drops there, Troy, you know, we have a tradition on the podcast. Like, what would you like, you know, as we wrap up, when this episode drops, what would you like to have accomplished by then? You know, like within those 6 to 8 months. Let's say this comes out 8 months from now.
I would like to have accomplished another film, another feature, another movie. I would like to have helped another filmmaker get their first film off the ground, get it going. And shoot, I want my wife to be pregnant by then.
Hey, I feel like definitely a few of those are going to definitely happen there, Troy. But I really appreciate you taking the time out to come on the podcast, man. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I wanted to be able to make the space for you. So you made the time for me, man. So I really appreciate it, man. I'm really excited, and you know, I'm inspired by everything that you've been doing, not just from the movies, but even before, like with managing artists and like just a whole bunch of you've just been doing a whole lot of stuff. Like I said, like you are our Jordan Peele / Tyler Perry for the city, man.
Jordan Perry.
Jordan Perry. Somebody said that before, Jordan Perry.
Yeah, someone said that.
Jordan Perry.
Spike Spielberg.
Spike Spielberg.
Spielberg's my favorite director. So,
man, I can't wait to that day when AMC or Warren Theater.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're up there, bro. So until then, you know, and make sure you guys go watch the Seeds movie. Check out the new trailer. When this podcast drops, who knows? Maybe there might be a new movie out there, right? So if you made it this far in the podcast, please smash the subscribe button, share the video, like, and, you know, stay tuned to what Troy has. Where can they find you at, man?
Oh, you can find me at Troy_Lamont on Instagram. I spend a lot of time on there. Troy Andrews on Facebook, and you know,
I appreciate you guys tuning in, watching the podcast. Once again, like, share, and subscribe. We will see you guys on the next episode. This is the Fully Connected Podcast, your go-to destination for inspirational conversations, and we'll see you guys later. Peace. Fully Connected.